Hi Internet, I am on the way to Waterford Lakes to the Barnes & Noble to see John Green for his Paper Towns release party. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm very excited to get to meet John Green, the man behind such wonderful things as Paper Towns. Yesterday we found out that he made the New York Times bestseller list, so very exciting. Congratulations, John.
But she's not that long right now. She's a loser. I'm picking a new best friend. I already picked my new best friend. I think Jonah. Because she was so I don't know how long I get.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, sorry.
We're coming tonight. People that have been here since 5:30 and fantastic. Here's our front row. Thrilled to have you here. We're thrilled to have John Green here, who's made the New York Times bestseller list. I know you don't want to hear me speak, so
Hi.
Hi.
In the introduction, I want to say thank you to Barnes & Noble for having us here tonight. If you can't see in the back, there are little bits of room over here. Come around the side, and there's even actually an currently unoccupied chair. And then also, if you go in the religion section over here, it looks like there's some room. Is my best friend from childhood, Andy Sutherland, here by chance? He said he was going to come. Pwned. He might come later. So I will reserve all that stuff that I was going to say about Andy till later, in hopes that he comes. Okay. Wow. Thank you for being here. Jeez. Everyone on Blog TV is like, we're looking at a wall, dude. Okay, first, just so I can get a sense of what I should talk about, can you raise your hand if you don't know that I have a video blog with my brother? Okay. Just you. A lot of this won't make sense. So, sorry. Okay.
I'm just a driver.
Just a driver, he says. Yeah, I bet there are a lot of people here tonight who are just drivers. By the way, I think it's interesting how many of us are mediating this experience through video, which will make it impossible to properly enjoy now. But later, hopefully, you will like it. Yeah, okay, so there's still, if you can't see very well, there's still quite a bit of room over in Bibles. Really, it's the best way for me to describe it, right over here. Yeah, you should come over to Bibles. See, someone just did it. Isn't that better? I know. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my new book, Paper Towns, and then mostly though I want to take your questions because as will become clear, I like dialogue and conversation and collaboratively created work, which is why I write and which is why I make videos and which is why you guys are wearing t-shirts and commenting on our videos and reading my work and everything else. So it's all part of a sort of conversation in an attempt to make the world suck less and be more awesome. But I'm going to start by reading from Paper Towns. I think I'm going to read this part that I like to read. I feel bad because I read it at a lot of signings, and if you watch the Blog TV shows, maybe it gets repetitive, but I mean, I think it's pretty funny. I don't brag. The one other thing I want to say before I start reading is that I'm really, really grateful to all of you for basically manipulating the New York Times bestseller list. I mean, we tricked YouTube in December of last year into letting us take over the site, and then that seemed like quite an accomplishment. But then, like, I mean, tricking the New York Times bestseller list, you have to understand that, like, many, many thousands of authors have tried to do that, and very few have succeeded. So And they haven't phoned Oprah. So I'm just very grateful to all of you for so fastidiously making sure to buy the book in the first week. Although now, if you could please all go out and tell one person to buy the book in the second week, that would be very helpful. I'm going to read from the first chapter of Paper Towns because since many of you know my video blog, you know that I've read the prologue 77 times. I think all you need to know is that Margot Roth Spiegelman is arguably, and I'd be happy to have that argument later during questions, the central character of this novel, even though she's not in very much of it. And Margot is this fantastically awesome girl who is responsible for all of the awesome that has ever occurred at Winter Park High School, where this book is set. This book is set in a place called Jefferson Park that bears an eerie resemblance to Baldwin Park, except it was built 16 years ago instead of 4 years ago. Actually, I think I'm also going to read the first page since that's so Orlando-y, and then I'll read this part. But all you need to know is that Margot and Q are next door neighbors in this made-up, built all in one place called Jefferson Park. They are they were friends when they were kids. They have since sort of fallen apart, and now they are seniors in high school with 1 month left and live in very different social worlds. And Q's two best friends are these guys, Ben and Radar. Ben believes that the surest path to a woman's heart is to call her a honey bunny, and Radar is a semi-professional editor of a website that's identical to Wikipedia in every respect except that it's called On Dictionary. It's not called On Dictionary because I was afraid of getting sued or something. It's called On Dictionary because I had fancy pants literary reasons for wanting it to be called On Dictionary. I'm going to turn this so they don't get so mad at me. Okay. Hello. So I'm going to start by reading the first page since I'm in Orlando, and this first page is pretty Orlando specific. The way I figure it, everyone gets a miracle. Like, I will probably never be struck by lightning or win a Nobel Prize or become the dictator of a small nation in the Pacific Islands or contract terminal ear canal cancer or spontaneously combust. I'm going to interrupt this. I've never said this before, but for the first 2 drafts of the book, contract terminal ear cancer was contract terminal eye cancer. And then I got a really serious infection behind my eye that caused me to be hospitalized for a week. And like, no joke, I changed it. Because I was scared that I was like giving myself eye cancer. Yeah, so no fancy pants literary reason for that. But if you consider all the unlikely things together, at least one of them will probably happen to each of us. I could have seen it rain frogs. I could have stepped foot on Mars. I could have been eaten by a whale. I could have married the Queen of England or survived months at sea. But my miracle was different. My miracle was this. Out of all the houses, in all the subdivisions, in all of Florida, I ended up living next door to Margot Roth Spiegelman. Our subdivision, Jefferson Park, used to be a Navy base. Tell me if any of this sounds familiar. But then the Navy didn't need it anymore, so it returned the land to the citizens of Orlando, Florida, who decided to build a massive subdivision, because that's what Florida does with land. My parents and Margot's parents ended up moving next door to one another just after the first houses were built. Margot and I were 2. Before Jefferson Park was a Pleasantville, and before it was a Navy base, it belonged to an actual Jefferson. This guy, Dr. Jefferson Jefferson. Dr. Jefferson Jefferson has a school named after him in Orlando, and also a large charitable foundation. But the fascinating and unbelievable but true thing about Dr. Jefferson Jefferson, I have this memorized, I don't know why I'm turning the page, is that he was not a doctor of any kind. He was just an orange juice salesman named Jefferson Jefferson. And when he became rich and powerful, he went to court, made Jefferson his middle name, and then changed his first name to Doctor, capital D, lowercase r, period.
I am driving home from Barnes & Noble, on the way home from meeting John Green and hearing him read from his book Paper Towns, which just made the New York Times bestseller list. And it was a really good time. I enjoyed listening to him talk, and it's fun being here in Orlando because that's where the book's set and where John grew up.